This is one we're going to spend time on because I believe it's the fastest and longest and for surest ways to create wealth. It's something referred to as a pig. Now, if you look in your notes, it says passive income. I'd like you to add a word to your notes. Add the word generator. And by the way, this is not up on the screen, just add the word generator. And then put parentheses, pig. Okay, so what does PIG stand for? Passive income generator. Okay, now I made a statement. I believe this is one of the ways to create wealth the fastest and maintain it. So what I want to do is I want to teach you what it is, but I want to give you several examples that have nothing to do with real estate first. What a passive income generator is, if you look at the name, what do you assume it is based on the name? What does it sound like?
You don't have to do any work.
It sounds like you don't have to do any work, and that's not what it is. Here's what it is. It's when you do most, if not all, of the work up front, and then income is produced from that point forward for a period of time, maybe a long, long time. Okay, I want to give you several examples. If I'm an author of a book, isn't it true that I do all the work up front? I write the book, and I might have to go do a promotional tour, get it published, and so forth, but all the work's done up front. Once all the work's done, if my book's successful, can that book produce a royalty or a fee for me or an income for the rest of my life? And by the way, if it's a really successful book, not only can it produce an income for the rest of my life, but can I hand down the remainder of that income to the next generation? Can that book continue to produce income for generation to generation to generation? And by the way, I think one of the best stories about this is the woman who wrote the Harry Potter series. If you've ever read anything about her history, it's interesting because she had this little idea about Harry Potter in her mind. She was a school teacher. But she didn't have time to write the book when she was a school teacher, but guess what? Fortunately happened to her. She lost her job. And by the way, she didn't like being a school teacher anyway. She lost her job, she was on welfare. And while she was on welfare, she now had something she could do. She had time. So therefore, what did she do when she was on welfare? She wrote the first Harry Potter book, and then once she wrote it, she had to go out and find a publisher. Did she have time to do that? She found the publisher, and then you know the end of the story. She just created massive wealth in her life. And by the way, she created like, what is there, 7 books like now on Harry Potter, something like that? Here's the point though. Is book number 1 still making her money? Yes. In other words, the other books just added to it, but book number 1 is still making her money. And the point is she doesn't have to work anymore for the rest of her life because she created something called a passive income generator. Okay, now I'll give you another example. The whole entertainment industry, if you think about it, why do they have so much money? Why do we hear about these $100 million movies they can make? You want to know why? Because when they spend $100 million up front to produce a movie, when they're all done, what are they left with? They're left with this little plastic DVD, right, that costs less than 50 cents to produce. What do they do with this DVD? Over and over and over and over again from generation to generation to generation. Sell it. Sell it over and over and over again. So can they recoup, even if the movie doesn't do well at the box office, can they recoup their profits over the years through rentals and all sorts of different things? Isn't that true? Because they created something that once it was done once, it's done. Now just sell it over and over and over again. And let me tell you what I believe is the biggest master of this one, Disney. You know why Disney's the master? Because what does Disney do with its movies? Well, first of all, I think the latest release of their movie is, what is it, Snow White? I think they just released Snow White again, okay? Now, Snow White was done when? I don't know, a long time ago, but in the 50s or 60s, would you agree? And by the way, don't they say we're re-releasing it? And do American people buy into this re-release? And by the way, don't they say we're re-releasing it in a new Technicolor or whatever that means? They give some new twist to it. Want to know something, Gabe? It's not a re-release. It's a repackaging. The movie's still at the books at the store. You could buy it. They say they're just re-releasing it. They say they pulled it off the shelf. Do you know they're still out there on the shelf? You know that you could get a Sleeping Beauty before they re-released it? Do you know that? Disney's not going to stop selling it. They just make it sound like they are, and then they re-release it. And you know why they do this? Because they're catching the next generation. Isn't that right? The next generation of kids see, hey, I like Sleeping Beauty, so I want to buy that. Isn't that true? And they do it over and over and over again. It's a passive income generator. Now we're moving into another one. The internet. I believe right now the internet is what I call the Wild West days, meaning that it's so new still that there are going to be more and more millionaires and billionaires created off the internet than any other medium you've ever seen. And here's why. Is it cheap to get on the internet? Is it cheap to put up a website? Now, if you don't know what it is, you put up a website for less than 25 bucks. But watch this. If I know what I'm doing and I'm willing to learn, I can put up a little website for $25, do a little bit of marketing on the internet, which is just punching in keys. And I can create a little website where I have a product or service that I sell. And once it's all set up, people just go to the website, click a button, download whatever they want, and pay money to that person who created the website. Isn't that amazing? And once it's set up, it's done. Now let me tell you who is the master at this. Apple. Apple computer. What is Apple known for right now? Their iPods. And by the way, they make a lot of money selling their iPods, but that's not where they make the most of their money. They make most of their money off of something called iTunes. And if you think about the theory of iTunes, what is it? It's a website where they post a song up there once, and then people come and buy that song and download it for 99 cents a time, over and over and over and over again. They've made over $1.5 billion off that website. Net profit. You got this? It's a passive income generator. Now, do they have some maintenance issues? Do they have to maintain that and make sure it works all the time? Yes, so what? It's still, if you think of the theory, it's something they did mainly once. They set it up once and does it create income from that period of time. All right, now let me move into my favorite passive income generator. It's rental real estate. And by the way, I say it's my favorite because it's the one that maintains value and increases value at the same time. You see, all the other things I talked about for passive income generators, they can go away. In other words, a book can be only bought for so many years and then all of a sudden nobody buys it anymore. Isn't that true? iTunes, some new technology could come out and that could go away. Isn't that true? Real estate generally does not go away because the land's always there. And then why is it a passive income generator? Because I spend all of my time up front finding the property, figuring out how to finance it, finding a tenant, and creating a management system to maintain that property and have tenants in there all the time. So I got to do all that work up front. And yes, during my ownership, I might still have to do some work a little bit during the ownership. But isn't it true that eventually that property is going to be paid for by somebody else, and then if it continues to be rented out, produce income for the rest of my life? And can I hand it down to the next generation and they continue the income for the rest of their life? And can they hand it down to the next generation? The next generation continues on and on and on. Isn't that true? And real estate, if you look over historically, what does it keep doing as far as value? It keeps going up. So to me, it's the most sound passive income generator that maintains value and continues to grow it over a period of time. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on when we talk about passive income generators. So what I want you to put in your notes is we're going to focus on the income from rental real estate. Okay, now I want to give you a rule. Go back to the wall here a second again. Here's the rule. Just like I taught you in portfolio income, the rule for passive income generators is this. If you lose money, it stays on that side of the wall in its own category. If you make money, let's say I made $10,000 profit on an investment property, what do you think happens to that, Jane? It bounces over the wall and is added to your income over here. So it's the same rule. Now there are exceptions to this rule I'll get to in just a minute, but here's the point. Lose money, stays on that side of the wall, can't deduct it. Make money, automatically bounces over here and it's taxed. All right, now, if you make money, let's make an assumption. You make money in the stock market, you make money investing in real estate. It bounces over here, it's now added to your income. When it's added to your income, it is now going to be taxed depending on how long you've held the property or the stock. Here's the rule. If you ever buy anything where you sell it for a profit in less than a year, the government says we're going to treat that exactly the same as if you earned it on your job or career. For example, are there people in real estate who do this? They buy a little house, fix it up, sell it. Buy another little house, fix it up, sell it. And they do it over and over and over again. Well, that is considered their income like a job or career, and it's taxed in the same manner as if they had a job or career. In the stock market, are there people that are what we call day traders? They buy stock at a low price, hope to sell it at a higher price, and if they make a profit, that's their income. That's the same thing. It's less than a year. It shoots over here. It's taxed as their ordinary income or their active income. Now, it's taxed at what level though? And this is the next thing in your notes. It's taxed currently at a maximum federal tax rate, what I want you to put down, of 35%. This is for any profit you make on selling something in less than a year and the income from your job or career.